Okay. 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 One of those. Okay. Time to do things over here. Welcome, welcome. Welcome aboard. Boop. Got it. Click a whole bunch of things over here and over there and around here. Over here. That one good. Well, that was already good. Okay. I think we're good now. Great. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I guess we don't need that much time to do it. Okay. New week. Still, nerves are back. I don't know. I'm not sure why that keeps happening. Okay. We're gonna have fun. This is gonna be a new type of project, even though not really. It's gonna be the same kind of project that we've been usually doing, but a little bit not really much different actually. Okay. Hi guys. Welcome back. Welcome to this stream. I'm horrible at intros. Okay. Yeah, once I kind of get into it more, then it gets easier. Because then it's like I have a plan to go forward with. Anyway, how you guys doing? We'll get into what we're doing in just a sec, but I want to make sure that we're all okay. Make sure that the stream's actually going as well. That's important. You might be noticing right now that that there are comments. That's because my channel is set to not for kids, because I can get into Kappa, and that's been a whole thing, and it seems to actually been turned on yesterday. So I'm sure I can have maybe another hour, 2 hour discussion about Kappa. Now that it's actually live. So that time on New Year's on that stream when I was like, that video that I set to made for kids still had comments and nothing changed about it. That was a good sign, and I'm glad that I was able to realize that I had that as a little test to see about that. So hey, commenter, I was able to see like that nothing really changed on the first, but then it's an email on the 6th, and then actually things happened. We're now on the 6th that yesterday Kappa turned on, which means that probably heard about it in some places that the videos made for kids that are being flagged or not, the ones that were flagged by the robot and then the YouTuber never really got around to actually change it back or set it to be more accurate, are now all set to be made for kids. So that means all of the features of commenting, saving a playlist, end cards, personalized ads, that's a big thing. A lot of things are not available. So that's why this one in my channel, I'm just gonna say it's not made for kids, just in the sense that it's more in general audience. Because I know my audience is more like 18 to 20 something, like 24, 5, late, maybe early 30s. So it's like this weird, like, much older crowd for bronies. So that's where most of my audience is, and I got like some like my grandparents, like they're watching it too. So that kind of like adds that like 1% to 65 and plus for my channel. So yeah, so exactly, Cupcakes HD was set for kids is most probably because the bot flagged it as bright, colorful image with cupcakes. That must mean that it's, as the bot, ones zeros, has to determine definitely yes or no, and that's where it gets like, I guess it is. And if the YouTuber who owns that channel, I'm not totally familiar with, it is like unaware, didn't change to like go back in and go back to the channel and then say like, well, maybe it is in this weird gray area where it's like, again, because it's animation and it's cartoons, it's based on Pony, it's like that should be made for kids, right? But if the actual content itself doesn't lend itself to be then it kind of skews back into maybe it's not made for kids. But anyway, so for right now, I know that they had an email saying like everything's turned on now, everything's in effect. So I just set my main channel I did watching on here is not made for kids, but I had a Let's Play channel where I just play video games with my mom. So I set that channel to be made for kids just because there's really nothing more than PG, into it at all. So I feel like that was a little bit safer to do, but I just want to make sure that I want to get all the features so I can get all these comments and lovely people like you can communicate. And I feel like if you watch a video and then you're not allowed to comment, then that'll be upsetting and might bring in some troll downvotes. So try my best for right now. We're gonna test the water a little bit to see where everything's going, but right now we're gonna work on this project and see how far we get on this today, which I'm sure it's gonna be most probably a multi-day stream. So our project, the project's gonna take multiple streams to make. So anyway, yeah, please. Yes. At least I've heard of it. Equity covered a bunch of them, and Little Shy on his Twitter, he had a nice PSA and said not made for kids is basically everything that wouldn't be specifically made for kids. So it's a catch-all for everything else, even though it doesn't sound quite white, So yeah, so we're gonna see how this situation kind of works, because I'm sure there's tons of pony animators from early days of even 2011 or 12 that made a bunch of cartoons, but they might have been edgy in some way, like Cupcakes, for example, or any kind of other ones that if the YouTuber moved on so much that they're removed from their YouTube channel, then again, if it gets flagged with the robot, then it'll automatically, without the YouTuber's warning, I suppose, will automatically become a actually made for kids video. So that's where that gets a little confusing with that. So I believe in those kind of cases, then the YouTuber did not manually set it to be one or the other, or they made a mistake. That's possible too. But there are consequences for making a mistake, or abusing a system or whatever. But I feel like they'll not have enough manpower to actually filter through the billions of channels that are in this weird area to actually make substantial effect. It's like a ripple effect is kind of gotta get to maybe halfway to the shore before actually everyone else will succumb to anything. So for right now, we're in this period of it's turning on, everything's freaking out, and things like that are becoming made for kids. So we'll have to, even though we had since September to think about it, but yeah, we'll have to, and this period of time is to sort through all your videos. If you're a YouTuber, you made a bunch of videos, actually go back into your YouTube studio. I'm sure there's a bunch of tutorials how to do this more cleanly, but go into your YouTube studio, you can select all. I was able to select all my 300 videos on my channel, and then say edit audience, and then not made for kids, which just means general audience. So I was able to do that, and it's 4 clicks really to do that. So I would encourage everyone to do that, so then you won't lose features unless you're actually making Pinkie Pie sings ABCs in 1, 2, 3s. Then if it's that kind of content, then that would be more made for kids. It's really hard to say what actually is, because not even YouTube would really want to tell you, or really knows. No one really knows what the actual definition is for a lot of these. It's YouTube has on their videos saying oh, we're gonna, if we need to have more information, maybe you should get a lawyer to figure this out. So they're not gonna be able to actually define whether or not it is or not. So anyway, that's our little Kappa speech, because it actually turned on today. Woo! I don't know, you all know I can talk about this forever. So let's get on with this. Okay, that's a little sketch warm up to get ready. Okay. Okay, I can't see what files up here. You can't see those. Great. Okay. I want to make a comic. So I'm gonna make maybe like 4 to 6 panel comic. I guess I'm just gonna have to start doing that then. I can lay these all out. I'm gonna make a bunch of squares. Nope, the opposite way. Where I want an outline. And there we go. So I got our square. I thought we could have this slightly be what do you call it? Interactive a bit. We're gonna have the chat kind of give me some influence a little bit later once I kind of get everything else sort of more settled away here. But yeah, we're gonna probably do a comic where Derpy like reflects on things, because it's gonna be like, I wanted the joke to be like she's gonna be thinking about life, like in her monologue it's talking about life, but then there'll be like a gag at the end. So yeah, I want to figure out how to get these little boxes going. I want to make it as a motion comic too, so I think I'd add a little bit more punch, because like I'm an animator, so I don't want to just draw this. Exciting. Probably just for time and to animate it, probably do puppet rigs, just because I'm pretty decent at that. So once I get these panels in place, and I can add some rough storyboards. So this is where the drawing comes in. You can do that. Whoosh. Here we go. So once I get these in, then I'll add some. I have this vision of like what I wanted for like a couple days, and I was like, let's do this on a stream. Like this would be cool. But yeah, I want this kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like more like avant-garde, like more artistic kind of comics, where it's like they don't really focus on like what's speaking or like the main action the whole time. Like the might be focused on like something else first, and then we get like a speech bubble. And it's like, oh, you don't really know who's talking. And then we'll attribute it to horse over here. Let's see, so this will be, that's one. Yeah, something like that, just to get like some kind of mood into it. I don't know why I wanted the flower, but it's like, that's the first thing I thought of, so maybe we'll change that as well. So this will be probably just a normal big shot of Derpy with her hat. And she'll be like flying, she'll be like delivering a package. We'll have the mailbag again. I don't know how much detail I need to put into this, but just enough to like see, for now, everyone else's sake, what's going on. Let's see. So these will all be like balloon bubbles, so it's like a dot. And then we'll do one of these things. I haven't really drawn much comics, but I've drawn some like comics as a kid. I don't know how to do this, so probably should research how to like do most of these like conventional things, like a word balloon or something to be able to draw it, but I think this will be just fine. Make enough room. Here we go. There we go. kind of mood we'll have before the punchline. Right before the punchline is gonna be once we get to it. It's hard to probably describe, but I think it's gonna be just gonna be reflecting on just like life, to make it like a big like whoa kind of that her thoughts are like, what is life? And it's like just a boop boop boop, and then she's like continuously thinking of different things, stuff like that, where we're gonna have her be like in silhouette here, or like her whole figure now be in darkness, but like she's flying up and down. So kind of like that. Don't know why I'm making these pictures better. We have a nice hill, and then show that there's something here, and then more dot balloons like that. So something like that. Oh, I'm seeing like the. Oh, I got it. Where the where like you look at like this area, then over here on like the corner of your eye, you see like a gray dot, like a circle. Oh, that's cool. She'll be very exponent, whatever you wrote. I can't think. That didn't work. Let's see. Existential. And then this will be something. It's basically gonna kind of look like this, but maybe a little bit different. Oh, right. This is the one where she's delivering a package, so she has to get to the house. So let's get a house. We'll see how much of the house we get to see. I got a Discord, so let me just pop to see if it's important. Okay. Sorta. But I'll have to come back to it later. Okay. And then we can have her over here. What kind of angle do I want? Something like that. Let's see. So we'll have this be like there. Mailbox. She's flying still, as well as still thinking. Kind of looks like a big cloud thing. That's not zoom. And then we open the door, and thanks, Flash. Flash draws great lines there. Might not need that for right now. I will have another horse here. I've already kind of pre-selected a lot of things, so in case there wasn't a lot of interactivity. I'm just drawing Derpy with the same hair. Let me look at how Colgate looks. Okay. I was gonna call her, oh, she's a wizard. With that kind of hair. Okay. Let's get that. Okay. Sorta. And she'll say, thanks, Derpy. So this is basically everything that I've thought of so far. And then we'll need basically the lines and everything for what she's saying will be important. Do we need Derpy in this shop? Maybe. Let's get her in. Hat. Scale is big. Short. And then she says, I'll probably type this out too. So don't worry about my fast calligraphy here. And then final shot, Not sure what kind of angle I wanted out of this, but I think we'll probably be okay. So the final thing is that she's gonna, because the whole thing is like her thinking like very existential to like do her job, and then she's gonna do something clumsy where she like hits a sign or something, and we'll probably like animate it, probably fully. We'll see where that goes. Like I need a sign of some sort. That'll also be maybe something we can determine what this says. And then Derpy will come in, or she'll be like, really proud of herself that she did that, but then she's flying backwards, waving, and then she flies and then like bumps into the sign, and then it like kind of wiggles and she falls down. So like it'll just be like this sign, and then Derpy will come into frame, hit the sign, go whoa, and then fall down. And then she'll fall, and then it'll be like a big curse splat. And then that'll be the gag. Okay, good, because I was having a lot of hard time trying to think about how to do this. So there we go. That's basically the skeleton, sort of what I wanted. So I think we'll need 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of dialogue, or maybe, yeah, we'll see where we go. So if you guys would like to help with figuring like what kind of existential, like some kind of questions she's having, like very big brain moments kind of a thing, I appreciate that, and I'll collect all those, and then we'll see our comic kind of come together where I draw the art and you guys can do the dialogue. So that should be open now. With that, so I got this skeleton, so I can use this as sketch. Excuse me, boxes, and this will be sketch. So basically I can now add the rest of the assets. So I can add all these guys in. Oops, move there. Copy them in. Does anyone have any like super trouble of like what the things what the whole comic's about, or like maybe something in the art can change, or anything else like that? You know, I'm not I set this up so we can have all this dialogue now, because otherwise we'll be in this weird void and vacuum where I'm just drawing stuff and it's boring. So that's what these streams are, to be interactive. So wonder what a key market mean. Okay. Hello, Kinsey. How you doing? Looking for some dialogue for this comic. I'm getting all the assets in first. Here's my jackalope background. Here's a jackalope. Woo. So I'm gonna need basically all of these. How many is that? When I get to it, maybe I'll do that. So, how does this work? I need either each of these to be a different symbol, or this is where it gets complicated with Flash. So I need to, if I want the outline, then I would just make the box a symbol, but then the outlines would be separate. And then if I need to change the aspect ratio or anything else like that, might just be simpler to have each box be like box 1, and then show the rest of it, and then go inside. Now I'm inside, so I can only affect the box with this. Now I need the colors. So I can grab this color there. So I've already colored that in. Haha. As well, we need to copy that box, make it a mask. So now everything outside will be clipped. So hopefully, should just be that. So I need the outline to be a layer on top. So that should work. And then these two should be linked together like that. So now all I see should be, let's change this to be a different color maybe. Something that's horrible. So now I'll know whether if I see the mask or not on the main stage. I do not. Good. So need to get rid of that. And then I get the flower and then draw the box. So here we go. So I can use my final vector things here. This would be like the only proper sew to do. So what are we doing? Maybe like look up some big brain quotes or something, and then maybe we can make like a pony version of that. What I was thinking of like was just like, I don't know, was just like big quotes of like, what's life, like a series of blah blah blahs that mean to this kind of a thing. So that's kind of where I was going, but I didn't want to think too far about that, then to have my own like vision of that. So we'll see where we go with this. Flowers should be nice, actually maybe a nice violet like that. Maybe another thing like that. Ooh, good color for that. I'm just using the basic nope. Swap. Fill. Nope. So I want that to be that. There we go. Using the basic line tool to just draw out. Okay, that's new. Uh-oh. We can't save it now. That's okay. Sometimes that happens, but sometimes it like lies about it too. So there we go. So I got the pedal. Get rid of these lines. Hide that. Really quick flower here. Haven't been drawing or animating recently, or like not really practiced today, so a lot of these are small mistakes that if I practice a little bit, at least like 20 minutes today, then wouldn't really happen. So this is, I know what's going on. So there we go. Move that up, make that bigger, make it fall off the frame there. So now if we get rid of sketch, now we see like the bottom doesn't clip, but if we go back inside, we can see that there's a little tiny blip out there, but if I go out, then it's gone, go back in. Okay. It's doing good. Warp. 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 Here we go. Could be set at sunset. I'll respect that idea, but I feel like should be delivering a package at sunset then. I could like add a tint to everything. Like I could make these boxes and kind of tint it to be like more orangey maybe. That's a bit much. But you know what I mean, that I can kind of play with this to like add some sort of really orange. Yeah, it's hard to make it look nice. It just looks like it's not very healthy there. Cinnamon. Orangey. Yeah. This is orangey. Let's make it much lighter. Let's see. How's that? You can't really see it behind your comment box. And then the sky could be a little bit darker too, or like this kind of tint. Or if we don't want it, then we can easily turn it off. Now it's kind of spring, summertime. I was actually making this one idea was to make it like winter time to go with it being winter time here. So a lot of different moves that we can add just by the colors of it. Because obviously with only these pictures, it's hard to tell what kind of true mood there is till we start adding color. Wish I could say existential. That's on Google. Yeah, maybe we'll just figure this out and then we'll figure out the true mood of all this. Okay, so we're gonna add this text box here. Get that going. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Sorry, Miguel. I talked about copy like for the first 10 minutes of this. I don't think I have to move. There's no like real pressure exactly. It's hard to like really explain that, but it's like the way that this is all set up is that it's more like in a weird honor system where YouTube will just, you know, pretty much like right now just like agree to whatever like I'm setting my channel to be not made for kids, just to the fact that it's more general audience. So so right now it's just like don't really need to be too pressured to figure out how to pack up shop and like move to any kind of new social media or anything right now. But I do agree that having not all my eggs in one basket will help. I'm able to save. That's fine. Should be able to save to a different place, but I might open my file thing, so hang on one tick. Then I might Control Alt S. Okay. Okay. Not that there's anything like, whoa, that was in your files, but it's like, that's my files, so that's why. Okay. He's a green grass guy might be boring. That's true. Okay. I'll get into that, but that's more of a color thing, so once I gotta get these basic blotches on, then we can recolor anything. So first I gotta get all these set up, so hang on with this. Box 2. Maybe we can add the text into here so we can have a template, sort of what this gonna look like too. So let's find a font as well. That'll be interesting. Text. So let's have that more dark. There we go. I took a whole like college, like, I don't know what you call it, but it's a class. Oh, I totally missed that. Thank you, MT. That's all I got of that. Aha. Gotcha. Thank you for that. I was trying to figure out what to do with this. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, Comic Sans. That's something. I like her dots be like in Comic Sans. Yeah, I took a college class for, what's this called? Typography. There we go. Maybe just Arial. That's like the default computer one now. There's also Equestria one that I have, but it doesn't really have much in terms of capitals and lowercase. I got Pokemon in here too. What else do I got? Of course, there's always Papyrus. That doesn't look good. I think my comments blew up or something. Probably because of that. What else do I got? Minion. Minion Pro is like kind of close to Ariel, but it's like has these little bits onto it. Minion Pro is like the default for Illustrator, I think. No, I've seen that a lot. Or InDesign? InDesign. One of those. Bunch of these. Exactly, let's see. Derpy wonders if she'll be remembered or have any impact in this world that you bumps aside. Yeah, that's the basic outline of what I wanted. So it's gonna be like, what is life? Then we can center it. Maybe we can make it like not black to make it more fun. Here we go. Yeah, it's gonna be weird. Puppets. Okay. Let's go with that. We got one board-ish done. Unless we change it, might change the text. That's where you guys can come in. So if you're new or coming in now, we'd like some smart sounding quotes for Derpy as she's like flying along, and she'll deliver a package to Colgate and then fly backwards into a sign and then fall into like a bush or something. So yeah, I want to like lead it up that like her thoughts are like so profound and deep that she like still on the outside is just clumsy at the end. So yeah. Color blends in, and I'm guessing that's bad. You can shed it in the winter. Okay. So I have the Christmas one. Oh no, it's not able to say this one. Oh, it's not able to say Jackalope Save 3. Well, that's weird. Okay. That's not this one then. This is my animation file for this. Okay, I was worried about the snow being like a white color. So that's good. So we can use this, go into here, and then change this to be the snow color. You should have a layer for like text as we get them. There we go. There was one of them. One of you said something. Let's see. What a cutie mark means. Like, what does my... Oh, jeez. So I'll just write a bunch of D's down onto a layer, and then... So I got that one. Let's add another one. That's not duplicating it at all. Go back up. Go back up. Okay. Boop. Butter and margin, not the same thing. Thank you for that. It seemed to be merger. There's no spell check in this, so I'll have to be really careful. Excuse my weird typing habits. Okay, thank you for that. So once we get like maybe like a bunch of those, maybe we can maybe like vote on some of them or figure it out, but I'll keep looking for you guys. So now I got this, now we need to add maybe some clumps or something, add some snow on top of this flower. So let's go back to actually this one. Kind of grounded with this, and I know I can go over the boundaries. That's fine. Just add some extra that's on it. This is kind of what I did with the Christmas video, where I would just add these layers of small like specks of extra snow detail. For like where, like if snow fell, then what would it kind of fall onto? So I'm trying to think of like of gravity of where it would fall. So sometimes it doesn't always like really work as much as you think, but it's like probably like less than this, but it's like, yeah. And we'll get that job done. Okay, so that's box 1. Let's get rid of sketch. So now we got one box. Pretty good. How are we doing? At 40 minutes. Okay. That's why I wanted to make sure. Okay. So now I got box 2. So I'm gonna copy Derpy into it. So now we can only edit box 2, so I'm gonna need a bunch of layers. And then cut this out, cut it there, get the outline, just put it there. So I have outline there, a box there. I'm gonna need it there as well. That goes there. I'll have to do this like 6 times, so I better make sure I'm doing this right. As well as that. Okay, so now we're good. Make this an atrocious color. So when I see mask, I'm like, oh, that's the mask color. Never really explain what mask color, but I think it's sort of explanatory. Where that purple shape is exactly where I want it to be, and it just means that I can do something like this, go outside, and now all I see is the boundaries of where that magenta color was, so it doesn't bleed. And this could be any color, it just happened to be the same color. So even though the magenta box here is a separate image, it's layered in a way that Flash can render only inside of that box. So yeah. It is pretty weird to like think about it, so I kind of just get used to it, that it's like, oh yeah, that's how that works. Paste. What I want is horse over here. Puppets. This. There we go. I'll just copy paste a bunch of these. Ah, got the text. And then horse. There we go. So this will be animated. So let's get the background in. So this will just be the sky, which we go back to here. Color pick that. Make the sky. Okay. So we got that. We'll need the dot bubble. So I'll add that in. Whoop. We'll make this a little bit cleaner. That's the point of redoing this, is that when we draw it again, you should be nice cleaned up versions. We're down to white. See everything. Unhide that. Lock everything. Do that. It's because we can see the sketches over. That's basically the layout of that one. And then she'll be flying. So I could start animating that. Sure. So I need to get Derpy, and then where is she? There you are. Let's get it duplicated. This is a flash thing. Fly. I was just gonna need the bag. Bag is probably in this one. Let's go back out. Bag is not in this one. Dang. Okay. That's a different type of bag. Maybe this one. Does this one have bag that I want? Sorta. This will do for now. Let's go back in. Yeah, this might be more helpful if I knew what I was doing. Jackalope, bag, good. There. That's how we do it. And if we learned on the other one, like the Paperboy-esque one, was that we wanted the bag itself to be much lower than this wing. So we need to have more connectors up here instead to make them connect up here. This might be a different layer. Yes. Okay, so I need to do that, do that, do that. So I can lower it a little bit lower. So the is there, as well as connecting it to the torso. So now when I move the torso, it should also move along with it. Good. Swap the wing to fly. That does not have fly. But maybe inside it has fly. It does not. Okay. Let's go into maybe this one has fly. So let's go back out. How to do it like this? Let's see. Let's go to Christmas. Fly. There's a bunch of these. Flap. That's it. This one. There we go. For some reason, not sure why that happened. But if I get rid of the other wing, this one should flap. There we go. So everything's kind of be based on how long this wing flap is. So it's 9 frames. So we'll just have to keep that in mind as we make this a loop. Because obviously, if we just have this be, you know, 10 frames, then the wing will go do one cycle, and then there's going to be one frame of it being the first frame, and then the first frame again as it goes back on itself. So to avoid that, we could just have the loop be 9 frames or equivalents of 9. So a lot of these things don't really make much sense, and I apologize for that. That I might be going too quick or not exactly explaining everything as I go, but a lot of these are very too simple things for me to like think about as much as just doing it. So I'm realizing that I'm using tools that are much more advanced than a lot of your flip clips and MS Paint. So apologize for that. That I'm using tools that are probably like light years in terms of functionality and what I'm doing. So yeah. That I never really use flip clip. I just know that they probably aren't as sophisticated as what I'm trying to do here. Could have her in a different pose, like she's thinking. Maybe she's more in thought. Like we would have these be more like that. And maybe less stern, but we could just make them just like in thinking. And then that should be pretty good. Pretty good pose going so far. I'm trying to grab this part. See you comment. So you can just have her then head down that facial expression. Okay. I don't know. I think like looking up is more like in dot, like more than kind of feeling. Yeah, it's hard to know. Man, this is a different feeling. Get more cross-eyed maybe? Let's see. And then maybe tilt her a little bit. Ooh, she could be behind the dot the hole. That'd be cool. Would like to raise this in such a way that it'll be more flat. There we go. Okay. Do something like that. The fun thing is that as we animate it, we can change these type of things. So this should only be 9 frames. So get rid of up to 10 and then delete it. Now it deletes everything up to 9. Just because the wing flap itself is 9 frames. So to make a perfect loop, then it has to be 9 frames. So all I need to actually animate is head, body, torso, and then make that back up, and then that back up. Then we just move that, and then that bit up. There we go. So we extend everything to there, and then extend all the way out here, and then loop it, get rid of sketch, and then there we go. So now we got a motion comic. Ha! Fun thing is now that we can go inside the box, kind of position where we want her to be, scale, and now all of our animation is intact. I'm sure with some other applications you would have to manually change every frame of it in some way. But this is just, it's symbolized, so I can do crazy stuff like that. We'll need the text in here. So let's add same color, text. And then we'll probably like vote or choose more once we probably get into it, but I'm just leaving it open for everybody right now to decide on some of these wonderful deep thinkings. Okay, so now we got 2, and I don't have enough time to work on the next one for the hour, but I talked for 10 minutes, so I'm gonna keep going. Got another thing I see. Maybe because I like the rep. Or do I just like bubbles? That's cute. Eggy cookie. There's something woody with that. Boop. Might be a bit long, and you can see like it's gonna be. How do we? There we go. These are 3 different things. Boop. Okay. Quiet. I'm sure it's just like January blues or whatever. Nah, that's it's always kind of quiet in January once everyone's kind of. And it took me forever to like wake up today, so I didn't really wanted to take like an off day today, so that's my own fault. That now the stream is not quite as professionally like technically done, you know. So yeah, let's add some life to this flower. Yeah, 9 frames again. Let's symbolize some of these things, or at least compartmentalize them. That's that, that's that. That's that. That's that. That's that. So I need to take these three, or maybe I can have this be separate. So on top of flower, we'll have this. So this is snow flower base. Just keep things good with that. So I just need these two as copy layers, insert new symbol, flower, snow, paste layers, kept how many frames there were, go back out, go back in, go back there, find this. Oh no, I forgot the stem. Where's the stem? Copy it. There we go. That somehow worked. This is just so it's all put together. Kind of like that. Supposed to be flower. This is just so I can have keep the layers modular. So if I need to change it to spring again, but I still want to have this connected, linked with the snow layer on top of the flower to make sure that that can be turned on and off, but still animated. Yeah, it's hard to explain more than it's worth. So you kind of get the gist that these are having to be dot up in a way that this can happen. Go inside. Now I got all these three. Or this can like kind of just gently, and then so we gotta loop it, and it's just kind of like breezing around, I guess. Just add a little bit, but it's like very barely, you barely even seen up there. Sorry guys. Okay. I love the Derpy flying with text. That's pretty great. Hey man, dynamics looks boss. Thank you, Tree Hugger. There's still a lot more. Let's get rid of those. Okay. So I think that's about it that we can probably do, because I think doing this will probably take a couple more minutes. As well as adding the background maybe a bit. So, as well as animating everything else, and then everything's going to be more complicated. Yeah. Or I could, or and then cut out Toaster Talk. Because I think Toaster Talk was going to be competent talking about. So, yeah. And we'll have time to go over this. Probably finish this before February. But, everything else should be lining up. Thank you for all the quotes. I think it was mostly... That wasn't all cookie. So thank you for that. So, I think we're good here. I can render this and see how that's looking. Let's actually make these two guides, so now they won't render. There we go. Yeah. So obviously the ones that already are drawn out don't need the sketches anymore, but it's getting there. I really like this neutral background color though. It's kind of nice. So, and so, yeah, we'll need more, maybe a couple more choices, for more text to add, as well as, maybe just here and there small things. But I think most of this is already pretty set up, at least. I've thought of like, I've actually thought of the entire visual structure of this, like, a couple days ago, so I'm really happy that I was able to remember all this. This is like remembering a dream practically. So This is like waking up and then remembering what I thought of. So yeah, there you go. I got to the end. As well as some other spot up here. Whatever I meant with that. So got more to do, more to see. So it's always like first to like a project, or is like you kind of got something, you got a base, or like you kind of got something, but this one kind of got a little bit more. We got some more, more than just at least it kind of helped that I had the visual part set up, or at least in my brain, and then just punching that out instead of making everything being mad libs. So okay, let's go to tour design for a bit. Thank you guys for watching. We'll continue this in probably a couple more streams. I can't see this being more than like 3 or 4, maybe like 2 or so. We'll see. Probably take my time on this to see, so we can have more quotes to add onto here. So anyway, thanks for watching. Whoop. It even says that. Haha. Yeah. Welcome to, we passed a whole week in 2020. Woo. So hope you guys are doing well. A lot of weird, upsetting, world things are happening, and I'm just in here complaining about Kappa. So, I don't like getting political, but it's like I don't want to ignore that either. But I think just for the sake of it, that it's like you can't really bring up the big 3 or whatever at the dinner table. So I don't know what the third one is. Economics. It's religion, politics, and economy. Maybe just in 2. But yeah. I don't want to feel like I'm ignoring them, but it's like I guess I kind of feel bad that I kind of want to refrain from talking it, and I'm glad that most of you guys are not talking about it either. So not that it's bad to talk about it, but it just seems like this isn't the exact like right environment to talk about it. I don't want to bring this up, but I just feel like just only complaining about COVID just seems insensitive to like everything else that's happening. That was like I talked for 10 minutes about how I hate Kappa, but it's like much more pressing issues are going on. So yeah. Anyway, we'll have to see how Kappa fares out. But I know the guy who said go to Facebook, not specifically Facebook, but I think other outlets will be important moving on. Again, to not put every egg in the same basket will be important. So that's why this I think my thing froze for a bit. Not to put everything in one basket, but to have these more diverse kind of things where instead of a strictly YouTube video, I can make a comic like this and then post this easily, like as a GIF anywhere, because like if it makes this a video, then it can only really go on video sites, and then it's like because I tried with, what was it, I made a Daily Motion account, but that didn't really, I know it takes time to get a popularity, and I didn't really advertise it as much, so I don't know why I got really upset that I got no followers or like 10 views out of it, which I don't even know how that happened. It's mostly just like really refreshing. You're probably counting that. Or like I would open the Daily Motion video like on my phone or like a different account, like open Firefox and then watch it and go, hey look, I got a view. It's like, nope, that's me. Trying to cheat to see something to get that going. But I think making essentially smaller content, but like has some kind of quality is going to be where I'm trying to head. Moving forward this year, is going to be a big transition to make more of these kind of smaller things where let's make a comic and here we go kind of a thing. Then let's make a 2-minute YouTube video. You know, it's like I just don't see that being, because as I said, like a business is something that can sustain itself. I'm sure is not at all a quote, but I just made that up. But I feel like it seems to be pretty true, and I think my YouTube channel is not sustainable enough to warrant these month-long stressful, anxiety-inducing, horrible experience videos. So it's not all that bad. It's fun, like just creating it, but like all the meta-ness of the business side, is not really being able to be as rewarding as I think it should be. So even if these comics don't really go too much, but if they're able to add more exposure and add different, if I can create new avenues where I can post things, then I'd see it as more publicity to then exposurize myself to, you know, get more jobs in some way, then so I'm gonna start with Pony because I know about that, and I have thousands of assets that I can reuse. You already saw, like, just in this one, I reused Derpy Puppet and Colgate and then the backgrounds. So obviously I have enough stuff to just reuse it to make things quicker, but I would like to as well transition into more other things, or maybe original things. I'll have to see from there. But for now, it's gonna be ponies for like some time. I'm just not sure when. Ponies should be fun. Again, it is fun to like make these, but at the end of the day, it's like these aren't really viable in some regards. So, but anyway, I have some small updates for the Derpy movie, because I guess if Kappa plays nice with me, then it should be able to release those as not made for kids. Just means general audience, because there's no general audience button. I would like to release the first chapter hopefully this month. Don't hold your breath on that, but I worked on between Thursday stream, I worked on the Train 3D Blender sequence a bit more. I added the characters, added the 3 characters as PNG sequences, as planes, so I can see them animate as I described different timelines, which is super cool. Exactly what I wanted. And very low risk of quality, so I'm really happy with that. As well as adding the camera pan, so like the camera like starts at one train cart and then like pans over to the right to go through another train car. So really happy how that turned out. That's exactly what I wanted with that. Might need to add some geometry here and there, because I think the doors that I added are just planes, so I'll need to add like maybe more extrusions to have it some depth or something. Some other things didn't really turn out too well either. Like there's some gaps in geometry on the train that I'll have to figure out how to patch that up. I added windows. The train cars now have windows. That took like, if you can believe, like nearly a half hour to figure out how to add a transparency onto a plane. So that was a huge endeavor to like figure out how to do that. But I made it work. It's much more simpler than I thought. That weird like node system, I haven't tried it, but I think that might not be exactly necessary now that I've figured out that it is just in like the properties panels, just added alpha clip. That took a while to figure out too, between alpha clip and alpha blend are actually very different. So watch out for that. Added some trees, added some motion to the trees in the background. I was able to parent a whole group of trees to like be a parent or be a child. Child have a whole bunch of children trees connect to a parent tree, and then I move the parent tree and all the children trees move along. Yep. So I did that as long as to make it look like there's more. Because if it was just like, if it was only just panning, then it feels like you kind of, it feels like the train's at rest. So I had to add like the trees like moving faster essentially, and then it feels like the train's actually moving across. So small stuff like that I had to figure out. Yeah, it's nearly done with that shot, but that's actually about nearly 2 minutes into the whole thing. It's a whole movie. So that might not be part of chapter 1, but it's good to get a head start. that was going to be like the test one, because I already figured out that I would use that as a 3D shot. So I made the actual whole train sequence in, well, at least that one shot actually, in After Effects. And I was talking about how the After Effects doesn't have complicated geometry, so I couldn't make the benches nicely modeled as the Blender ones were. So that added, Blender added a lot more complexity, a lot more learning curve, but the end product definitely looks way better than my After Effects one. So it was a good trade-off in a way, but yeah, the train was, because I already made it in After Effects, I knew what to do, so it was way easier to like model in Blender then, because I already had the essentially already a 3D reference in After Effects to like look at. So but yeah, I think there might be like, I'll have to decide whether to make like the first chapter or anything in 3D, because right now there's not any. So I'll have to like pick my battles to see like whether it's not or not, whether it's needed or not. But otherwise, it should be pretty exciting to figure out how to mesh and combine 2D and 3D elements. Like I could like do the like anime route, where I could just have, for example, there won't be any, like have a 3D tank in like a 2D anime sequence. So stuff like that could be fun, but probably not to that extreme. But I might have like a, one prop be 3D, and then like I have the 2D character, trying to hold it, or at least have it be in the same kind of shot. So don't go down. Yeah, I know. I was thinking about the Avatar Last Airbender, where they like have like those attacks against the Earth wall, and how those bunch of those like vehicles were like trying to be cel shaded, but like you can tell that they're not 2D or drawn out. So I'll try not to. I'll try to make sure that follow along with the cartoon look to it, but it's like, as you know, it's hard to, because like it's easy to see like when something's 3D, because the only point of actually adding the 3D object is when it has to like do a complicated motion, or like it has to, like we need to like draw out a perfect perspective thing, like an object, then if it needs to like perfect perspective like rotate, then you're gonna need to use 3D to make that easier. It's just a it's not like a cheap out, but it's like it's just becomes like an easier way to make sure that kind of quality is intact, but at the same time it's on a viewer, it's like, oh look, that's a weird looking objects, and then it's like you start like thinking about it too much and go, oh, that's actually 3D, huh? Well, that took me out for this story for like a minute or so. So I'll try my best to make sure that the 3D doesn't look out of place much. Because I know, like when I started that Blender stream, that I think I confused like one or two of you that that was actually a 3D. Because I think somebody actually thought it was like actually a 2D picture. So I'm glad that that looks good enough to like seem like it's 2D. So I'm sure with more experience and like more techniques and other things I'm not even aware that it could help me, you know, as I keep going, then those will help more to make things look. Weird thing is that I want the 3D stuff to look as close to my 2D stuff as possible without breaking that weird, not really uncanny, but like this kind of like, is that 3D kind of feeling. Oh yeah, you thought it was 2D. Oh, that's great. That's like that's the exact like reaction I wanted. I was like, huh, is this 3D? It's like, So, but otherwise, I'll see tomorrow, which is not a stream day. I'll keep working probably either on Folly or the Derpy movie, whatever comes up first. And then I'll see if there's any more updates later for you guys so I can see whether or not that shot that I'm thinking of will be 2D or 3D, whether it's worth it, or I can just kind of like keeping it on your toes to like figure out like, that shot kind of looks like it could have been made in 3D, but something about it, you know. So I want you to like keep thinking or like guessing whether it's 3D or not, because I think some of these might actually be some of the 2D shots, like the ones I'm making Flash and Animate, might start to look like they're in 3D. So it'll kind of keep you guessing to think that some of these 2D shots are actually 3D while they're actually 2D, and then the 3D ones kind of look like they're 2D. So it's like this weird blend where everything's kind of meshing together. Hopefully, now that's the goal, is to make sure that the 2D looks like 3D and the 3D looks like 2D. I think that's about it. Anything else? We'll have a stream on Thursday where we'll continue this weird comic. Yeah, I got more stories about comics as a kid, so I can go about that. Thank you very much. I'm glad that Kappa Apocalypse, the Kappa Apocalypse didn't crash everything, but yeah, we're still here for now. We'll see whether or not things get worse, but I'm hesitantly optimistic, if that's a thing. I think that is to about this situation. So yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you guys for watching again. I think that's about it. Okay, see ya. Yeah, you guys are great. Bye bye.